Hey guys, I'm Mustache Wolf, and we're back with innsmouth case. So, sorry the last episode was a little late on upload. I was trying to figure out what was wrong with the file. It was just I didn't have enough room. But, shouldn't happen again. So, let's go back in and try to get a different ending. The last phrase of sunshine filtered through the blinds of the empty office. The pathetic stench of whiskey, cold cigarette smoke, and canned raviolis filled the air. The screeching tires and constant beeping of car horns out there on the street tell you that it's gone 8 p.m. People on the way home finishing their day. You should join them. I guess I don't even need to reread everything, so I think staying at the desk is the best option. Let's smoke a cigarette this time. You're toying with the idea of a cigarette when you catch a glimpse of an unpaid bill from your doctor. Maybe you don't need a smoke after all. You breathe a deep sigh. It may not have been a successful day, but at least it's over. You're now looking forward to a classic Friday night, watching a mystery series at home in sweatpants and getting drunk on cheap booze. Alright. Say who is it? Wait a minute, wait. You shout in a pitch that's at least 2 octaves higher than you intended. There's no time to pick up all the crumpled pieces of paper on the floor. You gaze across the total mess on your desk. A weird, undefinable crust has formed on the wood. You've never noticed that before. You try to hide it by putting some unpaid bills over them. They get stuck immediately. Nice. Yeah, so I think rereading everything isn't going to really be necessary. But when I make a different choice, I'll definitely read it out loud. I like the bold. Miss Delilah Marsh. Of course I will find your missing daughter. The woman is startled. What did you say? You can't quite remember either. I'm not sure. Do we know each other from somewhere? It's incredibly quiet in the office. Not even the rain can be heard through the window. Slowly, very slowly, the stranger begins to smile, as if she just figured out a complicated problem. She collects herself quickly. I see. See you in Innsmouth. Until then. She hands you the photo of a missing daughter. Then she turns away without a word and disappears from your life. You sit in the office long after the mysterious stranger has left. How do you know her name is Delilah? Why did you say what you said? That's awesome. Why can't you shake the feeling of déjà vu? A metallic taste spreads across your mouth. Why do you keep thinking that this will be your last case? You don't have much time to prepare. A quick search reveals that only one bus goes to Innsmouth and only once a day. A pattern emerges in your research. We read this already. Yeah, so we kind of... I want to go by bus again because we got that golden fish hook. But yeah, I think we got like just the kind of the worst ending. Talk to the cleaner again. Appoint me to the ticket booth. Leave a donation. Get a golden hook. Show your ticket. Excuse me. You hastily push past the silent travel group. Trust your gut. This bus, the smell of sulfur, no thank you. The hell, were those gills on the bus driver's neck? The beating heart, you let yourself sink into the dusty concrete floor. Clear sense of foreboding. That alone doesn't mean you can skip the job. Nevertheless, you must be completely crazy to spend more than 5 minutes in this hellish vehicle. No thank you, you mumble to yourself and go back to board with the departure times. Go back to the board. It's maddening. There must have been an alternative to this rickety bus. There's no doubt about it. It's actually the only bus that goes to Innsmouth. If you still want to make it to town in time, there's no way around it. You start considering dropping the case when you remember the missing girl. Little girl has been missing for a week. What a cruel world this is, where you are the last hope of a scared mother. You don't even have to take the photo out of your pocket. In your mind, the big eyes of the little one look at you reproachfully. Little potato head girl. You have to make it to Innsmouth. You stare helplessly at this old clunker, which only someone with a lot of imagination would describe as a bus. You pass your way back to the steps that lead inside the bus and past the driver. It seems this travel company doesn't take ticket enforcement so seriously. You decide to blend into this trance-like collective as inconspicuously as possible. Brrr. As you pass the driver, a cold shiver runs down your spine. Someone has overdone it with the air conditioning. Does this old clunker even have any air conditioning? One per row. Got the sticky seat. Or sit next to homie. Let's go to the back this time. You've always been the cool outsider. At least that's what you like to tell yourself. So you take the back row, which you have all for yourself. The ride won't take long, will it? You wish you had paid a little more attention to the map. The smell of sulfur rises into your nose again. Try to sit down carefully without tearing your clothes on the wire springs of the seat cushion. Suddenly a jolt. You can't balance, and you're pressed into your seat by the most mysterious of all invisible forces, gravity. The bus starts without any warning. Because of the abrupt start, a bunch of yellowed paper has rolled across the dirty floor right in front of your feet. You pick it up. Look at that, a newspaper. Innsmouth Illustrated. From April last year. How useful. Hell yeah, spread the newspaper on the seat. Comfy. Wonderful. Heaven. You lean back and spread your arms over the other headrests while the bus, with its stuttering engine, leaves town. That worked out quite well, especially if you ignore the little hiccups before. Satisfied with yourself, you survey the ranks for other passengers. Whoa, dandruff shampoo must be worth pure gold in Innsmouth. An army of balding heads stretches out before you. The sight makes you feel slightly queasy in your stomach. Maybe something in the water? Your mind starts to roam restlessly. To Delilah, to the money you'll soon be storing under your pillow, and of course this free vacation in a coastal town. In your mind, you've already come up with a list of fish dishes you want to try. Don't store your money in your pillow. That's a terrible place for it. The bus is turned onto an empty country road now, and you see uncultivated fields rumble past you. The warm, stuffy air in the bus makes you sleepy. Just before you close your eyes, you can swear that several passengers are turning their heads surreptitiously towards you. What the? The bus leaves the country road and turns off at the one sign that says Innsmouth in red flaky letters. The journey continues rather bumpily along a narrow dirt road, littered with numerous potholes. In the distance, some houses are already visible, seagulls circling the roofs, the outermost edge of the city. Slowly, all passengers take their bags out from under the seats and get ready. Curiously, you look through the side window last time, so let's look to the front. You lean into the aisle and look past the bus driver to the path that still lies ahead of you. The bus rumbles along the street, past the first old houses. The road you turn into is narrow and bumpy. If we were met by oncoming traffic, or even just a cyclist, what would this bus driver do? You think. Your group seems to be lucky. No other travelers far and wide. You look around, and it's all rather unexpectedly idyllic. The front door of the bus opens with a squeak, and you join the monotonous line of locals stepping out of the bus as if in a daze, almost walking in step. You all get closer to the exit. As you walk down the steps, you have to protect your eyes from the sunlight. Turns out the windows of the bus were tinted. The other passengers shuffle off. Fountain. Make it to her body. I guess we'll go to the police HQ this time. Let's turn around and meet Granny again.
So good to have you here. I've noticed you're very taken by a local fountain. It was built in 1704 by Abdul Necrotis, favorite artist and friend of Charles Dexter Tillinghast, the founder of Innsmouth. The central figure was present and it was supposed to commemorate their travels together to Cairo. You can clearly see the Egyptian influences in Necrotis' work, here and here. She points wildly in every direction. And here! But I'm sure you've already noticed this yourself. You look like someone who knows his way around art, she says with a wide smile. You're still in shock. She beams at you. Of course, I'm an art historian. She enthusiastically starts clapping and squealing, a small plump person in garnished costume who finishes off all her sentences with a delight chuckle. Oh, I noticed that at once. How rude of me. I haven't even introduced myself. My name is Muriel Pooping Place. I'm the Director of Parks Commission, Chief Tourism Officer, and Head of the Welcoming Committee. Ta-da!
Yep, this is a repeat. No, we're looking... Actually, I'm looking for someone.
Here I am.
The small plump woman starts giggling.
Innsmouth welcomes you warmly, so you're looking for someone. It's not that uncommon for two lonely hearts to find one another in this romantic place.
Muriel winks at you. No, we're mentioning the missing girl. Next playthrough will hit on Muriel. You see, I was looking for this girl.
It's always about a girl, isn't it?
Tabitha Marsh, 8 years old. Mother asked me to take on the case. You take out the photo of Muriel. Immediately rips it out of your hand.
Oh, what a cutie. But I'm sorry to say I've not heard anything about missing girls. How awful. This sort of thing doesn't happen in Innsmouth. Perhaps you can have a look around the beach or the playground. There's a lot of kids around there. I'm sure that's where the little one will be.
With an unnaturally wide grin, she hands you back the photo, turns around quickly, and makes her way over to accost another tourist family. Fog. Poor choice. Forgot a briefcase. Back to the city center, but this time we'll go to the police station. Because last time we went down the alley and checked all those side shops. Police station! You enter the precinct and find yourself in a small foyer. A counter separates visitors from the actual office of the police officers on duty. It's standard practice, observed even in a cranky little town like Innsmouth. A chilly, not particularly inviting old building with a single narrow window on the northernmost wall. The room is bathed in a yellowish light, but rather than a warming glow, it's more like warm sick. Yellowed wallpaper is about to come loose from the walls, probably a process that has been ongoing for years, the exciting finale of which you can witness today. Almost every one of the poisonous green tiles on the floor has cracks or other small damage. A policeman is on reception desk duty. He looks at you through dull eyes. The police station gives off the same lethargic vibe that you've come to expect from Innsmouth by now. But who knows? Maybe they can help you anyway. You talk to the personnel. Okay, get down to the point. The life of a little girl is in danger. The wooden floorboards creak under your shoes as you approach the cop. They sound like moaning of an audience somewhere in the distance commenting on a display of epic stupidity. The cop on duty has been watching you intently ever since you entered the room. He clears his throat before talking to you. So... Nah, that was the fisherman's voice. So you want to file a missing person report? No, why would you assume that? The cop seems briefly surprised. Well, it's just what most tourists... He stops himself mid-sentence. All of a sudden, the papers in front of him have become super important. He starts making neat piles that are perfectly perpendicular to the pen and ruler. It's pure zen to behold. When he's done, he returns his attention to you. What do you want? Why are there so many people reported missing here? He stares at his newly arranged desk and adjusts the objects even more. Only an electron microscope could now show any inaccuracy still present in this arrangement. Then all of a sudden the cop gets up and murmurs, "Lunch break," and disappears into the back office. Question time appears to be over. You're now all alone in the foyer of the police station. Hell yeah, let's be nosy, look through them papers. Quick look to the left and right, no one in sight. You grasp this opportunity to inspect the desk. You notice your heart beating loudly in your chest. You start rooting through the cop's papers, but sadly you can't find anything apart from crossed-out tic-tac-toe games and amateur doodles. A worrying amount of people are strung up on gallows. He's definitely not made any recent notes that you'd consider useful. Why did the man leave 18 cucumbers on his shopping list? Disappointed, you step away from the desk. You keep looking around. Initially, upon inspection, the foyer doesn't reveal anything new. Behind the entrance door, blind spot, you notice the yellow poster with the slogan, "Bouncer the dog says paws off the drugs." Underneath there's a faded drawing of a dog riding a unicorn over a rainbow. That's amazing. Where do I get one of those? You can't help thinking that the poster has a contradictory message. You look up to the ceiling and notice a CCTV camera you hadn't spotted when you entered the station. Normally you'd expect this in a police station, but this is the first object in the room fabricated after the turn of the century. Lucky for you, you notice the camera before doing anything stupid. Oh, wait. From the room next door, you can make out some sort of commotion, rustling in voices, and then suddenly a door opens. Several cops enter the room. All eyes untrained on you. I can explain this. I can explain, you say and preemptively raise your hands through, although no gun is being pointed at you. Your intuition is, you have to admit it, usually pretty useless. But something's stirring right now and all signs point to danger. These people are not here to help you. They're watching you and trying to trip you up. The cop you talked to earlier has dropped his apathetic facade. He now reminds you of a shark circling a broken cage, with you inside the cage. Oh, really? Go ahead, sunshine, he says with a malicious grin. What were you doing just now? Obtaining unauthorized access to police documents is a crime. I was just admiring your drawings, you say, hoping the uncertainty doesn't creep into your voice too much. The men in the background make a step forward towards you, but the guy in front, the same you were talking to earlier, raises his hand authoritatively to stop them. He furrows his brow. Do you really like them? Your mouth is suddenly drier than a rice crack in the Sahara Desert. Oh, yes. You answer. You try to recall the details of the childish drawing you glimpsed briefly earlier, but you see that glint in the eye of the cop many times before. You've seen it with people stuck in deadly dull jobs and who dream that their potential will go recognized by someone, anyone. You estimate that Innsmouth doesn't value the creative talent sufficiently. What do you like about them? The cop asks suspiciously. What do you like most about them? I mean, he mentioned gallows. Oh, you can see the gills on his neck. I didn't notice that till now. All the gallows and exploding bums. The group starts laughing. Despite scoring sympathy points with his colleagues, the artist himself is less than pleased. He twists his mouth into a grimace and approaches you. His colleagues surround you like a pack of hyenas. Before you can say another thing, someone hits you over the back of the head. I've chosen poorly. Maybe. Your head is pounding. You feel numb and lethargic. You fade in and out of consciousness. Memories visit you, pleasant ones that hail from better times. Then you return to reality. Reality is not at all attractive. When you open your eyes, a flickering source of light blinds you. You carefully stretch your arms and legs, still unsure of where on earth you are. Are you dead? No. Your gaze wanders over the metal bars and a stone wall, into which those who came before have carved messages. You're lying in a cell, although the word cell doesn't quite capture it. These are more like cages which are separated only by thin metal bars. No cot, no toilet. Damn it, they didn't even give you a bucket. Someone must have given you a good beating. From your scraped cheeks and hands, you deduce that you were dragged here afterwards. In the cell to your right is a woman, with her back against the wall. To your left, an unconscious man with disheveled hair, laying face down. Look around the dark cell. Inspector, talk to the lady first. Well, let's talk to the lady first. Oh, she looks dope. Hey, given the circumstances, no one can expect of you to come up with something more creative. She turns towards you with a sigh. Slept well? You rub your cheek. Big mistake. Yet it feels like one big bruise. Who are you? You blurt out. That question could have been phrased a bit more elegantly, but this is perhaps not the time for formalities. Kate, my pleasure. The woman replies monotonously. I'm here for the exact same reason as you, I suppose. She listily starts imitating a falsetto voice. My little girl is missing. I'm so worried. An accurate portrayal of Delilah, you have to give her that. And this, she nods towards the peaceful slumbering surfer dude, is Lonnie, who is here on vacation. She laughs softly. What's gonna happen to us now is one of many questions on your mind right now. At least it's in the top 3 of all your questions. In addition to, how can a degenerate man from Innsmouth knock you out so easily, and would the telekinetically gifted evil mutant twin in this horror movie from the 80s have become much nicer had his parents not baptized him Belial, but Steve? The woman frowns at you. How the hell should I know? She looks away from you and as before, stares at the metal door at the end of the room. Then there are scrambling, rattling sounds, doors being opened. But I guess we're about to find out. Hard to tell which is worse, the squeaking sound of the rusting hinges or the light flooding in the basement room and blinding your eyes. A figure approaches. It takes your eyes a few seconds to adjust and take in who's standing in front of you. It's a cop, and he's not alone. The policeman looks down at you with a condescending grin. Then he fumbles with the lock on your cell. From the corner of your eye, you can see that more visitors are entering the cell room. They seem less amused by the situation. Chewing on their bulging lower lips, they keep an eye on you and the other two. In their hands, they hold burlap bags? I hope I didn't keep you waiting for too long, the cop says in a chatty tone. I wouldn't want visitors to get a bad impression of Innsmouth. He opens the cell and grins at you. And you're coming with us now. There's too many people play along. It's 3. No, 4 against 1. Your fellow inmates are still in their cells. You'd have to be pretty stupid to try anything. Do as you're told and step out your cell. The cop with the keys nods and starts to unlock the woman's cell. Kate, meanwhile, has gotten up. With an expressionless face, she stares at the cop who avoided her gaze. He motions for her to come out of the cell. Something is being pulled over your head. Suddenly, everything goes dark and smells of potatoes. Just great. This coward of a cop has put a burlap bag over your head.
Your hands are now pulled behind your back, and you can feel how scratchy the rope is being wound around your wrists and pulled tight.
Someone has to carry Surfer Boy. He's still completely out of it. Now let's get a move on. Go, go.
Two hands grab you by the shoulders and push you down along the winding corridor. Is it possible? It is possibly the discreet way out of the police station. At least that's where you assume you must have been. Someone mumbles the words, staircase, but it comes too late and you fall flat on your face. The hard edge of the stairs rams itself into your forehead. Someone behind you laughs, a nasty, rattling laugh. He goes on your nemesis list. This day seems to turn more and more unpleasant. After several corridors, stairs, boxes, and other stumbling blocks, the obstacle course comes to an end. Your shins bump against metal and well-intentioned pressure against your shoulders moves you to a slightly elevated surface. Next to you, Kate falls to her face too, cursing loudly. Well, at least you're not the only victim here. A problem shared. Someone pushes your legs forward and a muffled sound can be heard. You're beginning to catch on with what's going on. An engine sound confirms your suspicion. You're being transported in some sort of car. You're still pondering where you might have been taken when you were being thrashed painfully against the metal walls as the car makes a sharp turn. Ooh, what was that weird, freak out? This is when the car rides down the third cobblestone road that you stop being able to tell how long you've been in the car. You also stop counting the number of bruises you've acquired on this trip. By now you've also given up on trying to get into an upright position. During the ride, you keep bumping into Kate and Dopey Surfer Guy. He seems to have woken up from his nap by now. And every pothole the car drives over, he enthusiastically shouts, "Party!" or "Woohoo!" from the inside of his burlap bag. The personal agents list has been replaced by "Wipe Innsmouth off the face of the earth" plan, which seems far more doable and pressing. The car ride seems to go on forever. Oh, it's nice little screen shakes. Let's see what's up with Lonnie. As you lie there, bound, gagged, hooded in the darkness, it occurs to you that this is the perfect opportunity to get to know Lonnie a little better. But I'm gagged. As your gag body rolled back and forth in the shaky ride, you ponder what to say to him. You clear your throat. Flirt with Lonnie? Dating sim. How did they get you? Hey, now that you're awake, Lonnie, you say into the linen bag. How did they catch you? For a few seconds you lie there attentively, waiting for an answer. Just when you begin to wonder if Lonnie's fallen asleep again, you hear a loud, irritated voice.
Caught me? I don't know. We were having a banging party on the beach. We were just starting out, and I was kind of knocked over. Innsmouth is the bomb.
The human mind is a never-ending mystery. Clarify the situation to him. Whatever waits you in the end of this journey, you have to stick together. This means even this simple-minded tourist needs to know what's going on. How do I put this? Well, maybe you were having a party, but we were all kidnapped and locked up in a cell. And now they're taking us somewhere. And, I think you should know that. It's true. Kate, bored voice, agrees with you. The vehicle seems to be making a U-turn, and your bodies tumble around in the back of the van.
Dude,
Lonnie's voice comes from somewhere behind you.
Maybe this is all part of one of those new escape rooms. Do you know about them? You know them, right? You go to a place with a few people, everyone pays a few bucks, then you have to do puzzles and get out of a room. You think it's something like that?
In a back corner you hear a soft sigh. Sounds like Kate had tried to convey the seriousness of the situation to Lonnie before you had even arrived. Suddenly your weight shifts around. Seems like it's going downhill. Everything feels even bumpier than before until the car comes to a sudden halt. The front doors of the van squeak open, then it slams shut again. You can hear voices outside. Quite a lot of voices. Some cheerful laughter, too. The door on the back of the van is now unlocked. People shout, "Go, go, go!" and several hands grab your calves and drag you out of the van. Now there are even more hands tightly clasped around your arms, shoulders, and you notice a little alarmed, your hips too. Unpleasant? Say something. A good private investigator tries to establish a connection with the people, even in the most extreme situations.
Without being able to look anyone in the eye, you say, "I'm looking for this girl." A painful smack on the back of the head is all you get as a response. "Shut up, keep walking." Ooh, ocean. You decide to retain your dignity and wait. Maybe these gentlemen are more keen to talk to you once they've brought you to wherever you're supposed to be delivered to. The stress and responsibility of kidnapping, tying up, and carting innocent tourists off into the night must be weighing heavy on their shoulders. With a jerk, your hood is pulled off. You find yourself on the beach? The sea is rippling in the farthest distance. It must be a low tide. You and your fellow captives are surrounded by several sinister-looking men. The only thing that this pitchfork mob is missing are torches and, well, pitchforks. The leader steps in front of you and points to the direction you're supposed to walk. In between a jagged rock formation, you can make out the hidden path that seems to be leading to the inside of a rock cave. Goes down quite steep. Watch your step. You don't want to be impaled by stalactites. Stalagmites, you pipe up. What? Stalactites form in the ceiling of caves and point downwards. What you're referring to are Something hits you in the back of the head. Dagon doesn't like wise guys. Dagon doesn't like wise guys. Someone snarls. Oh, please. We're not too far off with the torches. The villagers distribute old-fashioned oil lamps among themselves before you all enter the cave. Your shoes are soaked full of salt water after only a few steps, but you barely notice. The lamps in front of you reveal ever new paths, twists, turns, and after what feels like an eternity, you wonder if by now you have traversed the entirety of Innsmouth underground. Where might they be taking you? There's not much to look at, right? Let's just keep walking. For the longest time of your arduous pilgrimage, your little group was a tiny floating island of light amid the darkness. But now you can finally make out another flickering light in the distance. It's a simple light that is enough to give you hope that you won't die in this subterranean darkness. As you approach the source of the light, you recognize two men in the dark, strangely patterned robes, both carrying a torch in their hands and jagged staffs that look a lot like pitchforks. "Everything is ready," one of them shouts over to you. The man walking in front of you just waves back without actually replying. You really like to know what it is exactly that has been prepared, but you get the sense that all will be revealed soon. You follow two captives down a narrow passage that has been carved into the rocks of the cave. Columns decorated with ornaments support the ceiling of the cave. You are now in a winding corridor and you can't make your mind up as to whether you think the walls are man-made or not. The walls seem to be shifting and moving depending on how the light illuminates them. Then you arrived. Alright. I think that's a half-decent stopping point. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying this. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.